Hey Check Audience, welcome back to my channel. I want to talk about head tracking goggles. Questions sort of come up, and obviously what goggles to go for. I've done a review on goggles before, which is I've got the Fat Shark Dominator goggles. I wasn't really impressed with it, especially the quality. The way I pointed it out, it looks very much like sitting in a cinema, 2 rows back, and watching the screen when the lights go down. So you know you sat there. And it's still a great view to watch, especially I've had it from what the experience I've played with so far. It's not bad, but I'm not impressed. I expected more, and I expected to be full field of vision, so my eyes were like literally if they were plugged into the camera itself. So when I looked left or right, up or down, I was still in the scene, not I can see a border around, you know. So I was really quite disappointed. I expected more. So Fat Shark is a leading in FPV goggles. Everyone has them. Everyone's using them, from FPV speed racing to FPV flying, normal quads, and great. Everyone's using goggles for in theory aerial photography, so they can see that perfect shot, because you can't always see it through a tablet, especially if it's a sunny day. Because I've got the Inspire one, and with the tablet and with the sun shield on it, it's still quite difficult to see. It's still very dark. So with goggles on, you can actually see properly, because you get properly shielded from the sun. So goggles are quite good in them sort of way. But if you're not worried about quality, more about the flying experience, then I suppose any version of Fat Shark is ideal. But if you want looking for quality, the best ones would be the top range goggles, which as far as I'm aware of, and please quote me if I'm wrong, the Dominator HD, which is the newest one. Full HD to your eyes. So as long as you can stream HD from the video camera off the quad or fixed airplane to those goggles, you can get good quality. But I'm not sure what the field of view is, so you need to check that. So always check the data sheets on what you're purchasing, because you also want to purchase the best possible, and you need to sort of lay out quite a lot of money for a decent bit of kit. The less you spend on FPV goggles, the crap you're going to buy. The more you spend on the goggles, the better quality you're going to get. That's how I see it. You know, you pay for what you get, and that is very much right. Same with a Mac, same with a PC, same with anything. You know, you buy cheap, you're going to get shit. If you buy expensive, you're going to get quite good products. You know, that's why the Apple products are very expensive. You know, because they are a decent bit of kit. The iPhones are good, robust. I've never had any. I've had a few issues, but not major issues. But always been good for me. Always been Apple all the way, basically. Got an iMac, great for editing and video and photography, and you know, even for playing games these days, you know. So again, what will you only pay for? So if on a low budget, you're going to get really bad quality, because the field of view, the field of view is going to be slightly different angle, and the other bit you need to look at is the resolution, display resolution. 8x600, and this is classed as the Fat Shark HD goggles. So if you look at 8x600, and my versions were, I'll go back. Mine are the Dominator version 2, which is what I got. If you look on my data sheets, you'll find the resolution different. So this is the Dominator 2. So you've got 32 degrees field of view, where the HD is 45, and the resolution on the screen is 6x480. On the HD ones, 8x600. So they're obviously a lot better. And from the 6x480 VGA resolution I got on my goggles, I thought they were shit. Honestly, shit. But it gave me my first FPV sort of experience. I'll probably play with them for a little bit longer, and I'll probably wait a little bit longer to see. I'm not sure if I'm going to upgrade to the HD versions. Not yet. I would like to see what they look like. So I might actually get in touch with my local RC shop and see if they've got any in stock I can actually look and play and have a look at with. And but I thought mine were pretty shit. VGA, that was with the aerial that comes with it. It was pretty much like watching an old VHS tape that's been watched hundreds of times over. It was annoying, frustrating, and it was spoiling the experience. I know you can add the antennae on them to make them better, which is obviously if you're going to do the goggles, you're going to need to spend another 50-60 quid, or maybe less than that, on a decent aerial to make sure that it stays in, you know, it stays working all the time. Because as I was getting quite high, it wasn't going very high up in the air, I started losing signal. When it starts losing signal, it's like your telly's been out of tune, and then it comes back into tune, and you're coming back in. So it's annoying, you know. But for money I spent, I must spend about just under £300, and I bought shit, basically. But no, the HD ones are probably a lot better. There are other goggles on the market, but the one particularly I had a subscriber asking about is, again, it's pay for what you get. All these goggles you buy from Fat Shark, they don't come with the receiver module, they don't come with head tracking modules. Those are all additional option extras. So when I bought my Fat Shark goggles, there was no receiver module in it, so I had to order the receiver module, then I can use them. Okay, they do different receiver modules because it depends on the camera you have on your quad or fixed aircraft, what frequencies it's running on. So you've got to make sure, because in the technical manual it will show you the frequency ranges on the camera, so you can then compare that with the frequency ranges on the Dominator or the HD goggles you get to see if they're in the same range. If they are, then you can tune them into it. I had to do a bit of tweaking on my receiver for my quad to make sure it actually got into the channel that's in range of, it says like on these goggles it's got 42 channel support and 6 bands. So mine, lucky enough, was in the band. If it was out the band, I would have to then change the goggle board, the receiver board, and plug a different one in. So you have to be careful on that. So again, if you're buying goggles, make sure the receiver module you buy is in the same frequency or is in the range of frequencies that your quad will output on that side. Head tracking module, there's a lot of head tracking cameras out now, like people who are making, like for instance this guy here, he's made his own head tracking up using a GoPro. You know, very simple, easy to do, cheap, little servos, but if you're clever enough to do it, you can actually achieve a full head tracking here. You know, it's quite simple to do. But you can actually buy the head tracking modules, and you can also buy the, if I can find it on here, you can buy the cameras will do the head tracking. This is the some of the cloverleaf you can add on there, giving you a better aerial boost on goggles experience, and that gives a real nice big range basically and stuff. And once you've got the camera, head tracking camera, you can mount that actually on anything. I mean, for instance, the 3DR Solo, it's got plenty of space on the top here, so you can mount the receiver, the camera, as well as an independent battery for that. Because don't forget, every time you add stuff to your quad or fixed wing aircraft, and it's running on batteries for your aircraft to work with, and you start plugging cameras and receivers into it, you're going to start milking the battery off, which basically means your flight time will drop, basically. Not sure exactly how much flight time, depends on how much you put on and depends what the output is and stuff. Very hard to sort of guess at this point, but you could lose like a minute, 2 minutes or 3, depends how much power it draws. So with the 3DR Solo and the Phantom and then the Inspire, they always seem to carry quite a heavy load payloads. I've seen a lot of people on YouTube adding like Coke cans, lifting them up, so they can lift a lot more than they're designed for. So you can get away with adding receivers, a second camera, and an independent battery. I mean, you only need enough battery to last a couple of flights, or even a flight for instance. So they're quite small enough to mount on there, where they wouldn't take so much weight up. So it can be completely independent. So if the aircraft, for instance, decided to power down and fall out of the sky, then at least your camera's still motivated. You can see where you're falling, basically. Or because it's not drawing from the battery from the quad, it'll reckon it. Because if you do draw battery from the quad using what you added onto it, and it causes a battery issue and short circuits, it's enough to kill your quad and bring it down and then crashing it, which you don't want to do. So if you can keep it independently on its own and not tied into the Phantom or any of the electronics, then you're safe to fly without actually knowing it could cause an issue with the quad itself. But with the 3DR, as I said, on Solo, there's plenty of space on top. You can mount it. You can probably mount it underneath because it's got a modulus bay underneath, which you can just probably use some sort of adhesive sticky, because they're very lightweight, not very heavy, and connect it underneath, or even put straps on to strap it on. Maybe create a board where you can glue it to the board and then use the board to strap it around, because you don't want to start bolting things to £1,000 quad you just purchased, because I certainly don't want to do that. Basically, because it could avoid warranty, you know, and the manufacturer's knowing you're bolting stuff to it, because any additional weight from a management point of view will say, well, you bolted that to it, that's what caused the crash. So you've got to be very careful on that side as well if you've got warranty. The Phantom 3, you can't put it underneath or at the back because it's got its own vision precision system there, so it will be in the way. Phantom Vision 2, there's plenty of space behind the original camera, so you can use the original camera for your normal photography still, and then mount your FPV stuff there, and then maybe mount the camera on top, so you can get a nice proper bird's eye view at the front as well. That'd be probably the best place to put it. On the Phantom 3, everything will probably have to go at the top. Maybe create a board where it all glued to, as I said before, and put a strap around this so it keeps it at the top for you without actually bolting anything to it. And same with the Inspire. The Inspire's got plenty of space at the top. Don't want to put it underneath or around, because you'll see it's going to get in the way of the camera when it rotates around anyway. And you got your provision system at the bottom there, so you don't want that to be in the way, because you start strapping anything underneath that, the craft's going to always think it's very low to the ground, you know, so you're going to interfere with how that works. So again, on top, it's a bit of space on top. Again, it's easy to strap something on top, giving you a proper first person view as well with the head tracking side. So that would be ideal where you could position them basically without interference from anything else as well. I will keep them completely independent on their own battery. Keep everything lightweight as possible, and you should be fine. Maybe lose a couple of minutes flight time, but for that experience, you know, it's perfect. You know, and I know the Inspire, you can buy the additional bigger battery, which gives extra more flight time. So if you'll just reduce that down to same as the standard battery, so you still get the 80-minute flight time with FPV and head tracking. I've seen some head tracking. The head tracking is pretty good. I've seen some of that. I'll put a video up over here, which basically shows a guy who's actually got it in his fixed wing aircraft, and the quality's not fantastic, but just gives you a rough idea of what it looks like if you were putting it into the cockpit point of view on a fixed wing aircraft. And shows how it works, because you can output all the display and screen, like the altitude and speed, all through your goggles as well, so you can always got eyes on how fast you're traveling and things like that. So it's quite nice to do that. Again, there's lots of different goggles, and there's lots of different projects people are actually doing. Dominate is seen to be the world class. The goggles my scribe was talking about, that was rebadged as another product, but is a Fat Shark underneath, and all they're selling is the Fat Shark goggles, adding their own board and camera, because there's lots of manufacturers creating receiver boards for goggles with and also head tracking cameras as well. So have a good nose around, because the camera's going to be, you need a good quality camera, because I've seen cameras on YouTube where the guy is moving his head around and suddenly got stuck, you know, so you need something really that's going to be robust. So again, it's money you spend, the better quality you're going to get, basically, you know. But cheap it may not be, but you could create probably your first project, keep budget low, try to create your own one yourself, then you get to learn, and it's a bit more experience in there, isn't it, really, sort of playing about and adding more to your hobby, you know, learning new skills and stuff. There is other goggles out there, so if you don't want to stick with the Fat Shark goggles, there are other goggles. The Epson do one. Let me just get it up. Epson goggles, and I've seen a review on these, and these do look really, really good. And they designed this more for the Phantom Vision 2 Plus. It comes with its own Android device on it, so you don't have to plug it into your phone. Because I find it really annoying using your phone to control your camera. So if someone calls you in the middle of mid-flight, it interrupts it. It's a pain in the bum, basically. But this comes with its own Android device, looks like a phone, and it's a touchpad on the top here. And the field of vision is actually in the glasses here, so you've still got first-person view, and you also got line of sight view for your goggles. You don't have to take them off. And you can buy the shades to go over this, like down here shows you the shades on them as well. So you can, if it's sunny day, it shades your eyes off, so you're still seeing it, and you're still seeing the FPV side of it all. And it's in Korea having like a 50-inch screen in front of your eyes, I think, from the point of view. So it's always dangling in front of your eyes, so you can see all your on screen. This comes with the Phantom 2 Vision Plus app that's already preloaded, or you can just download on the Epson one, and you have the full control of that. So you literally, your phone can stay in your pocket as a phone, then you've got that as the controller basically for your app, for your Vision Plus. Works extremely well, and a lot of people that have been playing with these are saying that are really good and stuff. And Simon Newton is another channel I actually watch. He's I think he's done a review on these, and he was saying they're pretty impressive as well. There's other ones out as well that that's come out on the market, but there's quite a few. They're more aimed at video, so you can watch, because of these ones you can watch video on them. So you can stream your YouTube channel to your goggles. You can watch HD video to them as well. So if you are not flying and you're at home, you can still at least use them as watching films on. So especially if you're laying in bed at night, put them on, watch a movie. So you get more use out of it. It's not just like FPV and then sticking in a drawer until you can fly again. You know, you are making more use out of it. Because I mean, goggles not cheap. They range anything from like £200 right up to anything up to like £1,000. So you're spending that amount of money, you want to get more use out of it and stuff. So I always look at that. And I know a lot of new gaming head tracking software is sort of coming over to the FPV market. So if you're not really excited to get one just yet, I would hold out for a little bit, see what else comes on the market, because they're always improving new technology and stuff. And look at these projects as well, where they're sort of like raising money to create new products. They're good starter projects to look at, and they got some nice tech coming out, and you can get your hands on it first before anybody else, and your money goes towards investing in the technology as well. It's quite good to look at. So I'm hoping there's a bit more. I know FPV and flying is not very much okayed by the FAA or the CAA. They don't really like it. They like to fly line of sight, but the law's changing that side. I've seen quite a few notes and news about it. They are sort of coming round. They are considering head tracking goggles, so you can look around, because that's the other thing, is when you're up in the air and you at least with line of sight, you can see anything coming towards it, so you can avoid it. Okay, but when you get FPV in with just a camera in front of you and you can't rotate or move it, you can't see what's coming behind you, you can't come and see what's coming in beside you or below you or even above you, so it makes it difficult. That's what they don't like. But the head tracking on it, because they're getting more and more coming out, and when they rule it a little bit, because they are talking about it now with the FPV people, because their FPV is coming very, very big, and they're basically in sort of like terms sort of saying, well, if you can create head tracking that you can look up, down, to the left or the right, as if you were in the cockpit doing that yourself, if your head moving, then they're more than likely will consider moving and saying, yeah, we'll allow that, basically. So it is getting good. I mean, the FPV tracking is more left, middle, right, middle. There's no down or up pan tilt at the moment. There's a few coming out, but I don't think they're all there yet. So soon, panning, tilting, looking up and left and right, they're going to look pretty good, basically. And I think then the FAA and the CA will say, yep, we're happy with that. Maybe redundancy cameras as well, so you're completely independent, because you need to avoid a crash. If you can see it coming up you can avoid it. It's just like driving a car. End of the day, the only difference between an actual pilot and a quad pilot is you're on the ground all the time, he's in the air, he can see everything up there, and he can avoid collisions. I think that's the main rule on CAA or the FAA, is you've got to demonstrate it with the quad. So you have the right tech in there, it could be possible, and they could rule it to say, yep, go ahead and do it. Because I know FPV Vine, they don't like it, but I know it's getting big. States are really massive on it. FPV racing, we're getting over in the UK, FPV racing, it's growing, it's getting bigger, and you can't stop it. I don't think anybody can stop it. And if they did put a law in place, people are going to get so pissed off, they're going to actually say, I don't give a shit anymore, I'm just going to fly whether you like it or not. And there's nothing you can do about it, because they can't keep an eye on everybody out there flying, unless you're particularly in the town that you're going to be noticed straight away. But the market, the hobby market is too big, so they're going to be very hard. They're going to have to work with us rather than try to work against us. But things are changing anyway, so we hear it all the time. There's news coming out every week, some new laws changed, or they're re-looking at things. At least they're talking, you know, with all the hobby market and stuff, and hopefully we'll be able to fly. I do disagree with having a pilot license or get some sort of license to do aerial photography, because at the end of the day, you don't get a photographer has to go through a course, get a license at the end of it to be able to sell his own photographs. And same with your pictures on your phone. If you take a picture on your phone, no one licenses that to say you have to have a license before you can sell it. You can sell it and do what you want with it, because in theory it's your own copyright, it's for on your own device. And same in the air. I don't think you should need a pilot license in the air to do aerial photography. You know, that's my point anyway. Anybody should be able to fly, take pictures and sell them, you know, because it's you, mate, that did that picture. The FAA and the SCA didn't take that picture for you. So I don't think you should need a license. I don't know what the license bit really about. Don't fully understand it. I understand flying and stuff up in the air, you know, but if there's restricted laws in place to say you've got to be 400 feet, aircraft's got to be higher than that, then there's no way of a collision unless you're flying around an airport where planes are coming into land. So that's the only time they will need to be below that. Don't know how it all works, but obviously I'm very much maybe like, I mean at the end of the day, if you've got a quad in the air and it's flying, I know, 10 feet above you, you're taking pictures, they say you can't sell that because you need a commercial license, right? But what's stopping you putting a GoPro on the end of a stick, putting it up in the air, taking the same picture? You know, that doesn't come underneath the rule because you're holding onto it. So what's the difference? There's not a lot of difference, is there, really? But that's my little quibble, that's my little moan. But don't quote me on this, because I'm very much sort of trying to be between borders, you know, because it is a sort of a very sort of strange sort of market, you know. So don't quote me or gun at me and say, oh, you're wrong. I'm very much open-minded, seeing what's out there. But I'd like to know your views anyways. What do you reckon? Do you reckon we need a pilot license? Do you think we should have a pilot license to be able to sell our own photographs? Or do you think we should have the freedom to be able to fly within restrictions, because obviously we're sharing the airspace with other craft. You know, that's you know, explainable anyway. You know, that's fine. But do you think we should have a license to be able to sell our own photography? And at the end of the day, we took it. We've invested in the money to fly and take that nice shot. We should be able to sell that without a license. What do you guys think? What do you think? Comment below and let me know your thoughts on this anyway. But until then, remember, safe flying, and speak to you on the next one. Cheers. Oh, remember to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Got competitions coming up. I've got some stuff to give away very shortly. So hopefully next week or the week after, we'll get a competition up and running, because I've done one for a while. And we'll get you guys winning some new stuff and new tech. And don't forget my quad builds. Check my quad builds out, because that's coming on. X-Copter getting there now. Got another video to put up on there for you guys to watch. And hopefully we'll be able to get to fly it soon. So when the weather comes a bit better, we'll be able to get the quad out and hex quad out to fly and test. And then we can then very soon, very shortly, do that as a competition prize. Remember, subscribe, like, and remember to check my Facebook out. I'm on Sky Pixels now as well. So catch me up on there, and see you soon. Cheers.